My name's Scott Ford, and I'm the hard goods buyer for Colesport. Boot and liner technology has significantly increased over the past couple years. I've got 3 examples here of some advances that have taken place in boots. Besides just the shapes, all of the liners that you see in the boots are all heat moldable. So we can put the liner on a device, heat it up for X amount of time, and it will actually shape to your foot. No longer do you have to go out and get a specific custom liner, add that to your shell, throw away your old liner to get a custom liner. They're coming in the boots now. One thing that Salomon has done this year, as I lift up the buckles, it's hard to see, but there's a black piece right here on the outside and a black piece here on the inside. This is actually a different material than the rest of the shell. It's a heat moldable material. We heat it up to approximately 200 degrees in a specific oven, and this material then becomes moldable, and what happens is we can get a wider foot in here. We can also get a better wrap for a narrower foot that might need more contour. So now we can truly customize the shell in a quicker, simpler fashion than going back and using all of the boot fitting tools that we do have to customize shells traditionally. What Nordica has done, Nordica has integrated a concept into their sport machine line that they call natural stance. And what natural stance is if you stand and you look down, my feet, for example, are slightly pointing out. Natural stance is exactly that. Instead of putting you into a boot that makes you go straight, the boot has been adjusted slightly off of the heel axis to allow for what they call a natural stance, or a slightly toed out stance. Del Bello with the Krypton line, the difference in this boot isn't just the ease of entry. While we're used to traditional overlapping shells, Del Bello uses a concept that they call cabrio, which many of you may recognize from the Reichley days, where the front piece comes all the way off and opens up. What this does is it makes the boot very easy to get in and out of, but what it also does is it's a design that really applies to new ski technology. As I mentioned before, skiing now is more of a lateral sport, side to side, than a fore-aft sport. So boots like this can be very stiff laterally while being very comfortable, easy to get in and out, and not as stiff in the foreflex.
As far as boots go, we've got a very broad range of ability levels and different feet up here. You know, I always hear I gotta have a pair of Technicas because my buddy skis in them. That's not true. We're here to make sure you're in the right shell design and for the type of skiing you do. New product from Head this year, the Head Mojo. This thing is a little ripper, and it also works well for those terrain park kids, and yet for somebody skiing moguls, very responsive boot. Made it a beefier buckle, not too many plastics or Delrins in this. It's there for taking abuse. This skier does ski aggressively. Keep it simple. All they've done really here is brought you a little bit more upright in stance because of the new ski technology, and yet very responsive boot. When we look at our women's lineup here, not only are we dealing with comfort and performance, but we're also bringing in the ability to tie them all together cosmetically. Again, the women's boots have also become a little bit more upright in stance. Ski technology has allowed us to do that, and yet again we're looking at a wall with different feet and different skier abilities. What we have from Atomic is, you know, women, men, everybody like to keep their feet warm. So in the Atomic boot lineup, they do honor the clip-in system for the batteries to actually add thermic, Hotronic, what have you, to keep your toes warm. And so that's a nice little feature. What is also nice about this particular boot from Atomic, the Hawk boot, is it allows the boot to flex a little bit and give a little bit for that, say, that wider forefoot. And again, they're coming more upright. They're getting away from so much forward lean because of the new shape of the skis.